Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ergonomics and Facilities Planning for Hospitality. So once again, this slideshow presentation was prepared by Sir Samuel Anthony O. Garcia. So for week 8, our topic is all about lighting and lighting systems. And for this week, we will discuss the nature and level of illumination that affects employee efficiency. We will also discuss and identify the different light sources that can be used to meet a building's lighting needs. So let's proceed to our discussion. So lighting systems, when it comes to lighting systems, it is very important to our planning facility planning for hospitality because it can affect several aspects of physical plant management. Also, the character and direction of light influence building colors and textures. Light's optical characteristics affect the appearance of surface, finishes, and ceilings. The nature and level of illumination affect employee efficiency as well. A building's lighting system influences HVAC system. So, and this HVAC system design and operation, and also building design, electrical design, and the economies of investment because the lamps and their controls are part of the initial investment as well. So before we begin our discussion of light sources and systems, we should briefly introduce some basic terms. So visible light, so its definition is most simply as radiated energy that can be seen by the human eye as color. And light is made up of various wavelengths and frequencies interpreted by the eye as color. At the low end of spectrum, violet, indigo, blue, and green light are produced by shorter wavelengths, with violet the shortest. At the high end, yellow, orange, and red are produced by longer wavelengths, with red the longest. Sources of visible light contain some or all of these colors. So basically, when light shines on a surface, some of the colors in the light are absorbed and disappear. Others are transmitted or reflected. The transmitted or reflected light is what gives objects their color. So let's have here, for example, a red napkin absorbs all light except red, and a yellow flower absorbs all light except yellow. So since an object's color is partially determined by the light that shines on it, a light source color rendition is important. So what is color rendition? So it refers to a light source's ability to provide a perceived color similar to that which results from sunlight. A lamp color rendering index is a number from 0 to 100 that states how closely an artificial light source approaches the color rendering capability of natural light, which has an index of 100. Standard light level units and measurement methods have been deployed in order to have some objective means of determining relative light levels. The lumen, so we all have heard what lumen is. If you come to a hardware store and you're buying a specific light bulb, the sales person always explains the lumen or the watts of a light. And the lumen is a commonly used unit of light. Light that strikes a surface is known as illumination. Illumination is typically measured in foot candles. 1 foot candle is a light intensity of 1 lumen per square foot. In countries using the metric system of measurement, light is also measured in lumens, while levels of illumination are measured in lux. A lux being a light intensity of 1 lumen per square meter. So we have here some light sources, and light is either natural or artificial. Both sources can be used to meet a building's lighting needs. We have here natural light or sunlight. So basically, it is by far the most common and least expensive light source. We also have here um, another light source, the artificial light, and the artificial light is light other than sunlight. So artificial light sources can be categorized categorized by many measures, including their efficiency, so measured in lumens per watt, and their color rendering index. So for artificial light, we have different sources of artificial light. So we have the incandescent lamps. We also have electric discharge lamps. So for the electric discharge lamps, we have fluorescent lamps. We have other electric discharge lamps. So we have a lot of types of sources of artificial light. So let's first discuss incandescent lamps. So for incandescent lamps, it consists of a filament inside a sealed glass bulb. Current passing through the filament heats into it to incandescence, producing light. The lamp is usually etched or coated to diffuse the light produced by the filament. The electrical connection for the lamp is through the base. The light bulbs commonly used in homes or hotel rooms are incandescent lamps. The incandescent lamps are characterized by relatively short lifetimes, so usually 2000 hours or less, and relatively poor efficiencies, basically 15 to 20 lumen per watt. However, um, these light bulbs, they are capable of instant starting and restarting, which are low in cost and are readily uh, dimmed. The light from these lamps is also warm, so visually high in reds and yellows, and color rendition is considered good. Because of their poor efficiency, incandescent lamps contribute large amount of heat to a building and have relatively high operating costs as well. So their short lamp life results in potentially high maintenance costs since employees must replace them often. And another type of artificial light is the electric discharge lamp. So electric discharge lamps generate light by passing an electric, usually this one passing an electric through a space field with a special mixture of gases. And this category of lamps include fluorescent, mercury vapor, metal halide, and low pressure sodium. So basically, these electric discharge lamps can't be operated directly from a power supply as can incandescent lamps. Therefore, LO electric discharge lamps require an additional piece of equipment, ballast that controls their starting and operation and acts as a current limiting device. Some compact fluorescents, so small fluorescent lamps develop as energy efficient alternatives to incandescent lamps. And for many hospitality applications, having separate ballast is preferable because replacement costs are lower. So let's explain our first type of electric discharge lamp, which is our fluorescent lamps. And these are the most common type of electric discharge lamp. They are characterized by a long lifetime of 7,000 to 20,000 hours and a higher efficiency of 40 to 80 lumen per watt than those of incandescent lamps. They also put out less heat than incandescent lamps, which means less heat needs to be removed by the HVAC system. So basically, for fluorescent lamps come in circular and U shapes, as well as long tubes. Mainly, fluorescent lamps could be seen as well into your households or homes, mainly used. Uh, the recent development of compact fluorescents has greatly expanded the potential applications of fluorescent lamps. So for another type or other sources of artificial lights from the electric discharge is we have here the mercury vapor, metal halide, and high and low pressure sodium lamps. And they operate on the same principle as fluorescent lamps and require ballast for operation. And these lamps are sometimes listed in a general category called high intensity discharge lamps or HID lamps. So each type of HID lamp has possible uses within the hospitality industry, while incandescent and fluorescent lamps light almost immediately upon being energized. The strike time, or the time required for a lamp to reach full output from a cold start for HID lamps can be several minutes. In addition, the time required for a hot HID lamp to strike is usually longer than the strike time. These longer strike and restrike times can be a problem in certain applications, such as locations that need emergency lighting. Oh, this is what we are talking about, the HID lamps. So for this one, we have the mercury vapor lamps, we have the metal halide lamps, high pressure sodium lamps, and low pressure sodium lamps. So these are the other electric discharge lamps that can be used in a facility of a hospitality uh, in building or facility. So you could see in your handouts or PDF files, you may read the differences between these types of or other types of electric discharge lamps. Now let's proceed to lighting system design. So lighting system design is an important element of the overall design of any hospitality facility. Interior and exterior lighting are crucial design components because they help attract the guests and make them comfortable. Also communicate a concept. So if you want a modern type of facility, so less lighting is being used because you are not going to use the artificial light, but instead you are going to use natural light or sunlight as your source or light source. Also, you want to establish an atmosphere, highlight artwork or interior features, and improve employee productivity. In addition, lighting can substantially affect safety and energy cost, both directly and indirectly as well. So design factors. Factors in designing a lighting system include light levels, fixtures, color rendition, safety, and emergency lighting. So for light levels, basically these devices or the designers can measure light levels with portable light meters that indicate the available light in foot candles, and these devices are accurate to plus or minus 5% if kept calibrated. Basically for this one, um, designers may want to use more light than is recommended. Also, we need to consider or for the design factors, light is very important for our fixtures, or also known as luminaries, contain or hold lamps. And fixtures consist of one or a base with wires connected to a power supply into which the lamp is installed. Some fixtures are highly visible and may contribute significantly to a building's interior or exterior design. Color rendition, since the color of the light emitted by the various types of lamp differs, the types of lamp used by a property have a great impact on the appearance of surfaces, finishes, and furnishings within the building. So, for example, for a restaurant should have lamps in their dining areas that give off a sufficient amount of light in red and orange colors, because darker colors will appeal dull, dark, and unappetizing. Also, one design factor for light is the safety, and designers must keep safety as well as cost and aesthetics in mind when designing a lighting system. Compliance with local safety code requirements is a must as well. Basically, uh, fixtures, I mean, light sources in locations uh, where the breakage of lamp could pose a likely health hazard, such as kitchens and pool areas. And so, safety is very important for light itself, or for installing some light sources. And light is also used not just as design factor, but also for emergency lighting. So, emergency lighting requirements for a property will be specified in the local communities building codes, and local codes must be complied with. So we have in your handouts or PDF files, you may read our local codes or the requirements found in the Life Safety Code and National Electric Code for the standards of the, or a guide for lamp selection based on color rendering properties. Also, for lighting system, there should be maintenance, and the requirements for lighting system maintenance depend on what types of lamps are used, their locations, and the purpose served by the lighting. The two major activities of lighting system maintenance are cleaning fixtures and lamps and replacing lamps. Cleaning fixtures and lamps. How clean the housekeeping staff keeps a building's fixtures and lamps will affect light output, thereby affecting the ability of lighting system to deliver its designed light levels. Periodic cleaning of lamps and fixtures will enable the lighting system to deliver a greater fraction of its light output than it does when the light is absorbed by dirt on the lamps and fixtures. Regularly replacing filters in the building's air handling units can make housekeeping's job easier by removing dust and dirt from the building's air as well. And how often should fixtures and lamps be cleaned? Basically, semi-annual cleaning is sufficient in many locations. Oh, in dustier or dirtier areas, more frequent cleaning may be necessary. Each hotel must establish a cleaning program that works for it to prevent them from attracting dirt. Plastic fixtures should be destatized when they are cleaned. Often, a destatizer is included in the cleaning solution. Plastic fixtures should be air dried. Wiping them would give them a new static charge. Employees should wear clean gloves when handling the clean fixtures as well. Otherwise, oil from their hands will leave marks on the plastic and destroy the destasticization there. So for our lighting system, we also need to replace our lamps. And replacing lamps can be as simple as screwing a light bulb into a guest room table lamp, or as difficult as climbing into a bucket rack to replace a pole-mounted high-pressure sodium lamp at its ballast in the middle of a parking lot. Oh, basically two factors that help determine how lamps are replaced and a property lamp characteristics and the properties replacement policy. So these two factors is the lamp characteristics and the replacement policies. So as mentioned earlier, incandescent and electric discharge lamps have different life expectancies. So if you have installed an incandescent lamp, so you should anticipate or create a cleaning program for your employees or the hoteliers or housekeeping regarding about the replacing of this incandescent light, since incandescent lamps need to be replaced much more often. So for example, if we assume an incandescent life of 1000 hours, some may only have 750 hours. So you must pre-assume or establish a cleaning program right ahead for areas which have incandescent lamps. Meanwhile, for those areas who have electric discharge lamps, you may establish also a cleaning program, since we already know the life expectancy of an incandescent, of an electric discharge lamp. So basically, let's have the fluorescent lamp. So for the fluorescent lamp, the life expectancy of it is 12,000 hours. So basically, you may plan ahead or schedule a replacement for areas which has installment of fluorescent lamps as well. So other characteristics of lamps that affect maintenance needs are the average burning time of the lamp and the voltage of the electrical supply to the lamp. And these incandescent and fluorescent lamps that frequently cycled will have greatly reduced lifetimes, resulting in greater maintenance costs in terms of lamps and labors. For replacement policies, most discussion of lamp replacement policies include a discussion of group relamping versus replacement upon burnout. Group relamping advocates suggest that wholesale replacement of all the lamps in the lighting system after some prescribed number of operating hours will result in a significantly reduced lamp replacement costs. Cost reductions are possibly primarily through a labor cost reduction, although it may be possible to reduce lamp costs as well by purchasing them in bulk. So in your handouts or PDF files, we may see a lamp replacement policy in a figure that we have. So we have here sample lamp replacement procedures. And we also have, so you may read it. And basically, group relamping is appropriate in any area that requires a significant number of labor hours to gain access to the lamps in the system. So for example, we have the convention halls, parking lots. So these are great for group lamping. So basically, how maintenance affects light outputs. So the combined effects of housekeeping practices, lamp characteristics, and replacement policies on a lighting system output can be significant. One lamp supplier has produced a diagram. So kindly look at your handouts or PDF files. We have a diagram And on in the diagram, it illustrates the reduction of a lighting system's efficiency over time. So also in the diagram, it is shown the replacing of lamps and properly cleaning of fixtures. And lamps can dramatically increase the efficiency of a lighting system as well. Another maintenance activity performed by the housekeeping department is keeping the room themselves clean also increases the lighting efficiency. So if proper maintenance is not done, the lighting system experiences the serious reductions in light output shown in the figure. The building will be either be overlit in initial design or the building will be underlit for long periods of its operating time. Neither situation is compatible with the goals of controlling costs in the initial design and providing an adequate environment for guests and employees. So, for energy conservation opportunities for lighting systems, the two primary energy conservation opportunities are the use of more efficiency lighting sources and the control of operating hours. Secondary benefits may be possible by reducing lighting in overlit spaces, but this must be approached with caution since lighting reductions may affect safety, productivity, or guests' perception of the property. Basically, one way to achieve more efficient lighting is to replace incandescent lamps with fluorescent lamps in as many locations or area as possible. Compact or screw-in fluorescent lamps are available that can be substituted for incandescent lamps in downlights, table lamps, and ceiling-mounted lighting fixtures of various designs. The result will be a reduction of up to 75% in the electricity consumed by the lamp. In addition, there will be substantial labor savings due to the longer life of the fluorescent lamps. Replacing inefficient exterior will be with more efficient ones usually has a short playback period since the operating hours of exterior lighting are very long. Efficiently controlling the operating hours of lights will result in fewer operating hours, lower energy usage, and lower costs. And the easiest control method is to simply turn off lights when they are not needed. So in your handouts or PDF files, we have two activities. We have activity one, determine the possible risks that may happen to guests or staff for the following hotel areas. We have here inadequately lit staircase and stairwell, inadequately lit parking lot, and inadequately lit pool areas. So we could see here that there is no sufficient lighting source in these areas or locations in the hotel. So what do you think is the possible risk if these locations or areas are not properly lit? So that is for activity one. For activity two, we have essay type. So answer each of the following in 10 to 15 sentence. So we have 5 questions. So in 5 questions, just defend your answer and um, any answer is accepted. Just make sure that it is related to the question being asked. So for this week's lesson, we have discussed the lighting systems and the nature and level of illumination that affects the efficiency. Also, we had identified the different light sources that can be used to meet a building's lighting needs. So for this week, we have some references. We have Hospitality Facilities and Management Design from Educational Institute of the American Hotel and Motel Association, written by David M. Stepanuk and Harold Ruffman. Also, we have some uh, links that can be used as suggested readings and references. So you may look on your PDF files or handout as well. So if you have any questions regarding about week 8 lesson, don't hesitate to ask. Just free to ask. You may send us a personal message through Facebook Messenger or directly ask us at school as well. So thank you once again everyone for this week 8 lesson for ergonomics and facilities planning for hospitality.